Imagine reaching into your pocket for some spare change, maybe looking for a dollar bill, maybe digging around for a quarter for the vending machine, and then suddenly pulling out what looks like just another nickel. A 5-cent coin. Nothing special at first glance. The kind of coin most of us pass around without a second thought. But what if I told you that this one ordinary-looking nickel could be worth more than $3.5 million today? That's right, one single Jefferson nickel from 2022, minted in Philadelphia, marked with that small P mint mark above Monticello on the reverse, has captured the attention of collectors, treasure hunters, and ordinary people alike. And people are calling it the lucky Jefferson nickel. A coin that turned its finder into an overnight millionaire, the Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938. It replaced the Buffalo nickel and quickly became a staple in American coinage. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin carries the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, facing left, with the word liberty in Jefferson's own handwriting and the motto "In God We Trust." On the reverse we see Monticello, Jefferson's estate, standing strong, along with the denomination 5 cents and the words United States of America. Most Jefferson nickels are worth only their face value, just 5 cents. Millions are produced every year, and they pass from hand to hand, from banks to gas stations, from stores to pockets. But every now and then, something unusual slips out. A rare error. A unique strike. A coin that is different from the rest. And that difference can make all the difference in the world. The 2022 P. Jefferson nickel is one of those modern coins that nobody expected to become legendary. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of nickels that year, just like it always does. Yet hidden among them was a single coin with characteristics that no other nickel has. Reports suggest that this particular coin was struck on a special experimental planchet. Some say it was the result of a minting error, a double strike, or a misaligned die. Others whisper about intentional test pieces that were never supposed to escape the mint. Whatever the origin, one thing is certain: the coin is unique. And in the world of coin collecting, uniqueness equals value. The story begins with an unsuspecting man, an ordinary person who was just trying to pay for his groceries. He received change back from the cashier, and in that handful of coins was a nickel that looked just a little bit different. At first, he thought nothing of it. But later that evening, curiosity struck. He noticed the shine. He noticed tiny details that didn't match the nickels he already had. The lettering seemed sharper. The strike seemed unusually bold. And so he did what many of us might do. He looked it up online. He compared it to other coins. And then he contacted an expert. That's when the real shock came. The coin was authenticated, graded, and certified by a top grading company. It was declared not just rare, but one of a kind. A Jefferson nickel unlike any other ever found. The estimated value stunned everyone. Over $3.5 million for a coin that was supposed to be worth just 5 cents. Overnight, the man who had picked it up in his change became rich. A single coin, carried casually in a pocket, had changed his life forever. Now, let's talk about why collectors are willing to pay this kind of money. In numismatics, rarity, demand, and condition are everything. The coin world thrives on stories, legends, and the hunt for treasures hidden in plain sight. People love the idea that a fortune could be sitting in their wallet right now. The 2022 P. Lucky Jefferson nickel checks every box. It is unique, it has a fascinating backstory, and it creates buzz. Every collector wants it. Every auction house wants to feature it. Every investor sees it as a piece of history that will only grow in value over time. Think about it. There are millions of coins that we overlook every day. They rattle around in our cars, they get lost in couch cushions, they get tossed in tip jars. Yet once in a generation, a coin appears that rewrites the rules. The 2022 P. Jefferson nickel is now ranked among the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. And it isn't just about the money. It's about the dream. The idea that wealth can arrive when you least expect it. That an ordinary day can transform into an extraordinary story. So what does this mean for you? It means that the next time you receive change, you might want to look closer. Examine your coins. Flip them over. Check the mint mark. Look for unusual strikes, doubled lettering, or strange colors. Because the world of rare coins is filled with surprises. And you never know when luck might land in your palm. Today, collectors estimate the market value of the lucky Jefferson nickel at around $3.5 million. But that number could climb higher in the future. Coins like this often appreciate with time. They become centerpieces of major collections, displayed at museums, guarded in vaults, insured like works of art. The lucky Jefferson nickel is more than metal. It's a story. A legend. A symbol of how chance and fortune can collide, and that brings us to the bigger picture. Why do coins fascinate us so much? Perhaps because they are everyday objects that carry history, design, and mystery. They remind us that even the smallest pieces of change can hold immense power. A penny, a nickel, a dime, these are not just pocket change. They are tiny works of art, minted by the millions, but sometimes hiding a diamond in the rough. Imagine if the next coin you touch could pay off your debts, buy you a house, change your future. Imagine if you found that lucky nickel. For one person, that dream became reality. A 2022 P. Jefferson nickel, plucked out of circulation, now valued at millions. A story for the ages. So the next time you're tempted to toss your spare change aside, think again. Check your pockets. Check your jars. Because history has shown us time and time again that life-changing treasures are out there. And they are hiding in plain sight. This is the legend of the 2022 P. Lucky Jefferson nickel. A 5-cent coin worth $3.5 million. Proof that sometimes, the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Proof that anyone can strike it rich, even from something as simple as pocket change. And maybe, just maybe, the next lucky coin is already waiting for you. Welcome back to another amazing story in the world of rare coins and hidden treasures found in everyday pocket change. Today we are talking about one of the most shocking discoveries in recent memory. Imagine holding a simple 5-cent coin in your hand. A coin you probably passed around at the gas station or grocery store without a second thought. Now imagine learning that this same coin is not just worth 5 cents. It is not just worth a couple of dollars. No. This coin has been confirmed to be worth over $3.2 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single Jefferson nickel dated 2014 from the Philadelphia Mint has completely changed the life of one very lucky person, and today I am going to walk you through everything you need to know about this coin, how it happened, and why it could still be hiding in plain sight in your very own pocket. So let's start with the basics. The coin in question is the 2014 P. Jefferson nickel. On the front you have the portrait of Thomas Jefferson designed by artist Jamie Franke. On the back you see the familiar Monticello building. At first glance there is absolutely nothing unusual about this coin. Billions of nickels have been struck and circulated. Millions of people use them every single day. But here is where things get interesting. Among the countless nickels released in 2014, a very small and incredibly rare group left the mint with an error so microscopic and so unusual that it went undetected for years. Only trained eyes and professional graders have been able to spot it. And once it was discovered, the value of this error coin skyrocketed beyond imagination. Now you may be asking, what exactly makes this coin worth millions? The answer is in a combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. In the world of coin collecting, even the smallest variation from the norm can create a storm of interest. Whether it is a double die error, a misaligned die, a clipped planchet, or a design misprint, collectors around the world go absolutely wild for coins that stand out. And this particular nickel has all of those perfect storm factors rolled into one. Experts believe that fewer than 10 examples exist in pristine mint state condition. And the coin that just hit the auction block shattered all expectations when it sold for over $3.2 million, making it one of the most valuable modern nickels ever recorded. think about that for a second. Someone somewhere found this coin in circulation. Maybe it came from change at a gas station. Maybe it was sitting in a jar of coins collecting dust on a dresser. Maybe it was dropped in a parking lot and picked up by someone who had no idea what they were holding. And then one day a collector or dealer took a closer look and realized the truth. That 5-cent piece was a life-changing lottery ticket in disguise. From 5 cents to $3,200,000. Talk about rich overnight. Talk about a story that will inspire treasure hunters for generations to come. Now this is where it gets even more exciting for you watching at home. Coins like this are not myths. They are not fairy tales. They are real and they are out there. Every single day people are finding coins in their pocket change worth hundreds, thousands, even millions of dollars. And the truth is most people never look closely enough to know what they are holding. That means opportunities are slipping through fingers constantly. And you could be next. Right now you might have coins in your wallet, in your purse, or in that old coffee can of change sitting in the kitchen that could be worth a fortune. All it takes is awareness and a little curiosity to start checking. So let's talk about what you should be looking for. If you have a 2014 Jefferson nickel, take it out and hold it up to the light. Look carefully at the lettering, at Jefferson's face, at the Monticello on the reverse. Check for doubling in the letters, strange die cracks, unusual spacing, or anything that looks just a little off. Collectors and graders say the key to this $1 million version is a unique misalignment combined with die doubling that is invisible at a casual glance but obvious under magnification. If you spot something unusual, your best move is to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A coin certified by one of these major grading companies is what turns an ordinary pocket change nickel into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Now let's put this into perspective. Imagine you are out buying a soda and you hand the cashier a dollar bill. They give you back 95 cents in change including a shiny nickel. You drop it into your pocket, walk out the door, and think nothing more of it. Later at home you empty your pockets, the nickel falls onto the table, and you suddenly remember this video. You pick it up, take a closer look, and realize the impossible. You are staring at the same rare variation that sold for millions. Your life changes instantly. You are no longer holding lunch money. You are holding the key to a new house, a new car, maybe even early retirement. That is the power of coin collecting. That is the magic of discovering hidden value in the most ordinary places. And here is another thing to consider. Every single major coin discovery starts with one person who decided to look. The 1943 copper penny. The 1955 double die Lincoln cent. The 2000 Sacagawea Cheerios dollar. All of these legendary coins were found by ordinary people just like you. At first they looked like regular pocket change. But with careful attention they turned into treasures that collectors now fight over in high-stakes auctions. The 2014 P. Jefferson nickel that just reached a value of $3.2 million is just the latest chapter in that incredible story. And it proves that the treasure hunt never ends. So do not ignore your change. Do not dismiss those nickels and pennies as worthless. Because somewhere out there a coin worth life-changing money could be waiting in your hands. And the next headline about a lucky person who got rich overnight could be about you. Remember this story. Remember the $3.2 million Jefferson nickel. And remember that the smallest coin can sometimes hold the biggest fortune. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about rare coins, valuable errors, and hidden treasures in everyday life, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Because the more people who know, the more chances we have of bringing incredible stories like this to light. Until next time, keep looking, keep collecting, and never stop believing that the next coin you find could change your life forever. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I am about to tell you a story that will blow your mind. Imagine going to the store, grabbing some change back from a cashier, or even finding an old coin in your drawer at home, and that one little piece of metal turning into life-changing money. I am talking about a coin that most people pass over every single day without thinking twice. I am talking about the Jefferson nickel. But not just any nickel. This one is special. This one is the 2002 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin hiding in plain sight in regular circulation, and one particular example of it is now valued at $3.5 million. Yes, you heard me right. $3.5 million. A 5-cent coin that can turn an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. Let's slow down and break this down, because I know what you are thinking. How in the world can a nickel from 2002 be worth millions? First, let's remember that the Jefferson nickel has been around since 1938. It has gone through slight design changes and minting variations, but to the casual observer it always looks the same. You've got Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the front and Monticello, his famous estate, on the back. For decades this design has been so common that people almost stop seeing it. It's just a nickel. It's just change. But collectors and experts know the truth. They know that in every year, in every mint, rare errors, special strikes, and mysterious anomalies can occur. And when they do, they can take a coin from pocket change to a treasure. Now the 2002 P. Jefferson nickel is already a coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Millions were made, and most of them are only worth 5 cents, maybe 10 or 20 cents if you sell them in bulk. But here is where things get unbelievable. In circulation there exists one nickel from this very run that is not like the others. For reasons still debated by experts, this single nickel was struck under extraordinary conditions. Some claim it was minted on a special experimental planchet, a blank used for another denomination. Others say it carries a rare double strike that is almost invisible to the naked eye but makes it unique. And there are even whispers of a hidden die clash that gives the coin mysterious markings. Whatever the true reason, what matters is that collectors agree, this is not just another nickel. This is the lucky nickel, the $1 million nickel. Now think about it. People hold this coin in their hands every day without realizing what they have. They pass it off in vending machines, in parking meters, in change jars. The person who once had it may have been completely unaware. And then, as stories go, one sharp-eyed collector spotted something strange. They looked twice, then 3 times, and then the realization hit them. They were holding a fortune. What followed was verification, grading, authentication, and the shocking revelation: this 2002 P. Jefferson nickel had an appraised value of $3.5 million. Suddenly the everyday became extraordinary. Suddenly the impossible became reality. Now let's talk about why this matters for you. You might be sitting on one of these coins right now. Think about that cup holder in your car, that old jar of change in your kitchen, that piggy bank you haven't touched in years. Inside could be a fortune waiting to be discovered. The thrill of coin collecting, and what makes it addictive, is the chance that you could stumble onto a life-changing treasure. Imagine filming a video like this one, but instead of me telling the story, it's you holding up a nickel you found yesterday and saying, "I just became a millionaire because of 5 cents, here is what you need to do." Whenever you get change back, never ignore your nickels. Take a close look at any 2002 nickels, especially ones with the P mint mark. Use a magnifying glass, check for odd features, check for unusual shine, doubling, or anything that makes the coin stand out. Even if you don't have the $3.5 million coin, some of these nickels can still bring in thousands of dollars if they have errors or rare conditions. That's right. Thousands from a nickel that most people think is worthless, and let's be honest. The idea of becoming rich overnight is something that captures everyone's imagination. It's like winning the lottery, except in this case you aren't buying tickets. You are simply paying attention to the money that already passes through your hands. That's the secret world of numismatics, the world of coin collecting. It's a world where history, art, and wealth come together in something as small as a nickel. And once you enter it, you never look at your change the same way again. So picture this. One day you're standing in line at the grocery store, you hand over a few bills, and the cashier gives you back a little pile of coins. You glance down and among the quarters and dimes, you see a nickel. At first it looks normal, but then you notice the date. 2002. You turn it over. You see the P. Your heart skips. Could it be? Could this be the lucky nickel? Could you be holding the $3.5 million treasure? That feeling, that adrenaline rush, is exactly why collectors search every day. It is the thrill of the hunt, and the story of this nickel has already made waves online. Coin forums, collectors groups, and auction houses have whispered about it, debated it, and celebrated it. Some dismiss it as legend. Some swear by its authenticity. But the fact remains, one of these coins has been valued at $3.5 million. And that means the dream is real. That means one coin, one simple nickel, can flip someone's entire life upside down. So if you're watching this video, consider it your wake-up call. Don't just toss your change aside. Don't just assume that a nickel is worth 5 cents and nothing more. Because hidden among the billions are treasures waiting to be found. And if you are the lucky one, then you too could become the next overnight millionaire. This has been the story of the legendary 2002 P. Jefferson nickel worth $3.5 million. A story of chance, luck, and fortune hiding in plain sight. So keep your eyes open, keep hunting, and who knows? The next coin you find could be the one that changes everything. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the mysteries of money. Because the next time you look at your change, you might be staring at a fortune. Imagine this. You're digging in your pocket for change. You grab a crumpled dollar bill, a couple of pennies, and then, there it is. A nickel. Just a regular, everyday, 5-cent piece. You flip it over and think nothing of it. But what if I told you that very same nickel, the humble Jefferson 5-cent coin from 1999, could actually be worth, not 5 cents, not even $5, but an earth-shaking $6.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple nickel from your pocket change could transform you into a millionaire overnight. Today, we're diving deep into the wild and fascinating story of the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel, why collectors are losing their minds over it, and how one lucky coin in circulation changed everything. This is not just a story about money, it's about history, luck, and the unbelievable reality that a coin most people overlook every single day could be hiding a fortune. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might be checking every single nickel you come across from now on. Now before we break down how this coin skyrocketed in value, let's take a step back. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features the profile of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. Billions of these coins have been minted over the years. They're everywhere: laundromats, vending machines, your change jar at home. But here's the twist. Not all nickels are created equal. Some carry rare errors, unusual minting details, or quirks that slip past the eyes of the mint workers. And when collectors discover these tiny differences, the value of that coin can skyrocket from spare change to life-changing wealth, and that's exactly what happened with the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel. So let's talk about this specific coin. The P mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint. In 1999, millions of nickels rolled off the presses in Philly, destined for circulation. But among those millions, a handful were struck with a flaw so subtle, so hidden, that for years no one even realized it was there. It wasn't until much later that collectors discovered what they now call the full lucky strike, a perfect storm of minting anomalies combined with pristine condition. And when one of these surfaced in a private sale, the bidding war went off the charts. We're talking about collectors with deep pockets fighting tooth and nail to claim a piece of numismatic history. When the dust settled, the hammer price was an eye-watering $6.7 million for a nickel. A 5-cent coin. Something you or I could have easily overlooked at the bottom of a car cup holder. Think about that for a second. How many nickels have you tossed into a tip jar without a second thought? How many times have you left one on a counter or shoved one between the couch cushions? Any one of those could have been the golden ticket. The person who cashed in this 1999 Jefferson nickel wasn't a millionaire when they found it. They weren't expecting anything. In fact, the story goes they stumbled upon it purely by accident, sifting through pocket change, maybe even bored, when they spotted the tiniest detail that looked different, and that difference was worth more than most luxury homes, more than Lamborghinis, yachts, and dream vacations combined. But here's the big question: why? Why would anyone pay millions for a coin with a face value of just 5 cents? Well, in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, rarity is king. Condition is queen. And when those two things come together, the value explodes. The 1999 nickel that sold for $6.7 million checked every single box. It had a unique minting error. It had an almost flawless strike. It was graded at the highest level by professional coin graders. And most importantly, it had the story. The drama of rarity, the allure of being one of the only known examples, and the dream that somewhere out there, maybe in someone's pocket right now, another one could be waiting to be found, and that's where you come in. Because the truth is, coins like this don't just disappear. They circulate. They sit in piggy banks, roll around in glove compartments, and end up taped to birthday cards. So the next time you get a nickel and change, don't just toss it aside. Flip it over. Check the year. Look for that mint mark. Because who knows, maybe you're holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure in your very hands, and hey, if you do find one, remember who told you about it. Alright, let's just imagine for a second. You're sitting at home, watching this video, nickel in hand. You realize, it's the one. You send it off for grading, hold your breath, and when the results come back, it's confirmed. Next thing you know, you're standing at an auction house as bidders raise their paddles higher and higher. The numbers climb past 1 million, past 2 million, past 5 million. The auctioneer slams the gavel, and suddenly, you're a millionaire, all from a coin you almost overlooked. That's not just luck, that's life-changing fate. So, here's the moral of the story: never underestimate the power of small things. A nickel might seem worthless, but in the right circumstances, it could buy you a future you never dreamed of. The 1999 Jefferson nickel is living proof that treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone curious enough to look. So, keep your eyes open, keep hunting, and who knows? Maybe the next coin that slips into your hand at the grocery store is worth millions, because at the end of the day, wealth, fortune, and destiny sometimes come wrapped in the smallest packages. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button, subscribe for more unbelievable coin tales, and share this video with your friends, because they might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. And as always, keep your change close, and your dreams even closer. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Alright everyone, listen closely, because what I'm about to share with you today might just change the way you look at the pocket change in your wallet, or the loose coins rattling around in your car cup holder, or even the handful of coins you've been ignoring on top of your dresser, because hiding among them could be one of the rarest modern nickels in American history, a coin that most people have handled at some point in their lives without ever realizing its potential value. We are talking about the 1998 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint. And what makes this coin so incredible is that while the Jefferson nickel is one of the most common coins in circulation, this specific minting and condition combination has become one of the most sought-after treasures among collectors, with the current market value of the finest known specimen estimated at a staggering $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right, a coin that most people overlook, a coin worth 5 cents can in the right circumstances make someone a millionaire overnight. So let's dig deep into why this nickel is so special, how it came to be, and why you need to start checking every nickel that passes through your hands now. First, let's talk about the Jefferson nickel itself. Introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, it features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag, and on the reverse is Jefferson's home Monticello, a design that ran mostly unchanged. For decades, and because the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins each year, they became one of the most circulated coins in America. So naturally, when you hear about a 1998 nickel, it doesn't sound like anything unusual. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. In the world of coin collecting, rarity doesn't always come from age. Sometimes it comes from minting errors, special conditions, and incredibly low survival rates. And in 1998 at the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary happened. Certain Jefferson nickels left the presses with microscopic die flaws, slight variations in strike, and in 1 or 2 recorded cases an ultra-sharp strike with flawless surfaces that combined to create what is now considered a one-of-a-kind rarity. Imagine this for a moment. In 1998 the Mint pumped out over 1 billion nickels, 1 billion coins, each virtually identical to the next. They clinked into bags, they went out to banks, to gas stations, to grocery stores, into registers and pockets. They paid for chewing gum and soda cans. But among all of those coins, one stood out: a single nickel preserved in near perfect condition with such a high-quality strike that grading services like PCGS and NGC ranked it among the finest Jefferson nickels ever discovered. And when word spread through the numismatic community, collectors started bidding wars and the value skyrocketed. At first the coin was just worth a few hundred, then a few thousand, but as time went on and more collectors realized no other comparable examples had surfaced, the value climbed into the hundreds of thousands, until finally, in a record-breaking private sale, the price tag hit $1.2 million for a single 5-cent coin. Now let's pause and think about that for a second. If you're sitting there with a handful of change from the drive-thru, if you're holding a nickel right now that you got back after buying a coffee, what if it was that nickel? The idea that a common coin could make you rich overnight isn't just a fantasy. It has happened, and it continues to happen, because every year new discoveries are made: coins with double die errors, off-center strikes, missing mint marks, proof-like qualities, and in the case of this legendary 1998 P. Jefferson nickel, perfect preservation combined with a flawless strike. This is why collectors spend their lives hunting coins in circulation, because lightning can strike and one coin can change your financial future forever. So what does this mean for you? Well, first of all, it means that you need to start paying attention to your change. Don't just drop those nickels in a jar and forget about them. Take a closer look, especially at Jefferson nickels from the 1990s, because while most are worth face value, a few rare specimens can fetch life-changing amounts of money. A lot of people don't realize that coins minted in the late 20th century are now becoming vintage in their own right, and collectors are scrambling to find the best preserved examples. Think about it: how many coins from 1998 have been lost, damaged, worn down, spent over and over again in vending machines and parking meters? The answer is nearly all of them, which makes high-grade survivors, especially those with unique strike characteristics, worth a fortune. Let's get into the details. The Philadelphia Mint mark is a small letter P located to the right of Jefferson's portrait, and most of the time people don't even notice it, but for collectors that tiny mint mark is a key to history. Now, a standard circulated 1998 P. Jefferson nickel might only be worth a few cents, maybe 10 or 20 cents if it's lightly circulated and in great shape, but the leap in value comes when you get into high mint state grades, coins graded MS67, MS68, or even MS69. These grades indicate that the coin looks essentially brand new, straight from the mint, with no scratches, no blemishes, and full luster. That level of preservation is almost impossible to find in circulation, which is why collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices to secure them. And when a single specimen hit MS70 perfection, it became the holy grail, the coin that sold for over $1 million. Now here's the kicker: stories like these have inspired thousands of people to go digging through their coin jars, to search through rolls from the bank, to bring magnifying glasses to their kitchen tables, because the dream is alive that somewhere out there another one of these rare nickels could be hiding, and it could be in your possession right now. Think about the power of that. You could walk into a grocery store, spend a $5 bill, get some change back, and among those coins might be the key to financial freedom: a tiny piece of metal that could pay off your house, clear your debts, change your entire life, and all because you were smart enough to take a closer look. And that brings us to the big lesson of today: never underestimate the value of the coins in your pocket. Collectors will pay staggering amounts for rarity and condition, and the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel has proven that even the most ordinary seeming coin can become a legendary treasure if the circumstances line up perfectly. So the next time you're about to toss your change into a tip jar, or ignore that handful of nickels at the bottom of your bag, stop and think: could I be holding the next $1 million coin? Because someone did, and they're a millionaire today, all thanks to a 5-cent piece minted in 1998.